Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're going to do a how-to fight for only one character, is what I would be saying, but I realize that not a lot of people get that much help out of focusing an entire video on one character, and as much as I like to do a deep dive like that and get into all the nuances of one specific character, I realize that it might be more helpful and it might still be more fun for more people to watch if I do multiple characters in the same video. So I decided to, and this was partially inspired by someone who hit me up on Twitter. I think his name is Tig. So apologies if I missed your name or forgot it, but just what came to mind. I decided to go into the ranking and just look at the ranking in terms of popular characters, and I ranked them by tier 3 instead of tier 2 because I realized that the tier 2 ranking is actually heavily influenced by new players coming into the game and the new characters and the new uniforms. And as much as I want to do a video telling you how to play Iron Man and Captain America with the 3099 uniforms, I kind of don't because they're not that good. So if you guys want to see other characters or even other uniforms in the future, definitely stick around and watch this video, even if these characters here don't appeal to you, even if you already know how to play these characters or you don't have these characters, because I will be sharing the giveaway details for the 300 crystals as per the Star Agent program benefits for you, the community, the viewers. And then I'll also be giving you guys a chance to vote for, well, not a chance, I'll be giving you the vote for the next 5 characters that I do in one of these sort of large content videos or sort of like content spam kind of thing. So we're going to be doing these 6 characters here, Sharon to Luna. Now I say 6 even though I said 5 because we already did a video on Sharon Rogers, but I want to quickly cover her again for the new uniform, and we are going to be skipping Jean Grey because I've done a video on her already, a dedicated how to fight video, and she hasn't changed her playstyle at all. So if you're looking for Jean Grey's how to play, if you want to figure out how to, work Jean Grey's rotation and proc, whether you've got an obelisk or a CTP of Rage, definitely hit up that video and I'll put a card over there for you to check it out. But without further ado, let's jump into the first one. Quick recap of Sharon Rogers. So for Sharon Rogers, it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to do 3 cancel 5, delayed cancel 4, and that is going to be your proc. And then you're going to splash in the 2 before returning to the same rotation, and you're just using the 2 because it's going to help you build up your 6th skill faster. If you don't have tier 3 Sharon Rogers, if you just have a tier 2 Sharon Rogers, it's the exact same thing except you never get to use the 6th skill. Now, I'm not going to explain it for the rest of the characters. You're just going to have to watch via the rotation, but I will quickly explain using Sharon the difference between an instant cancel, which is known as just a cancel, and a delayed cancel in which you actually delay pressing the next skill because you want some sort of effect to activate or you want time to pass. So in this case, 3 is going to be an instant cancel because you get all of the effects and abilities at the beginning and the actual damage of the skill doesn't matter. You instant cancel into 5. You delay the cancel between 5 and 4 because you want to time the raining down of those arrows or whatever spears in the blast with her 4th skill blast. If you time it correctly, it all kind of happens at the same time, and that will synergize chain hit damage, and it will synergize with your damage proc, whether it's on a CTP of energy or a CTP of destruction or any other obelisk out there. And then what you do very quickly is you do the 2, and then you run away, you don't get snared, and then you restart. Now very quickly, one more time, check it out. 3, instant cancel 5, you cancel by pressing another skill, and then delay cancel 4. The amount of delay that you put between 5 and 4 is going to depend on how much attack speed you have. The more attack speed, the less delay. The less attack speed, the more delay, because attack speed will control how fast the character animates. So if I'm at 100% attack speed and I'm Sharon Rogers, I'm raising the spear like this. If I'm at 130%, the maximum attack speed, I'm raising the spear like this. I'm exaggerating it so you can see the difference, but 100% would be like this. Theoretically, 130% would be like this. So it would happen faster, and because the whole skill happens faster with more attack speed. Did I say skill cooldown? Anyways, because the whole skill happens faster with more attack speed, you will cancel faster into 4. Now let's move on into Apocalypse. Up next, we got Apocalypse, and the nice thing about Apocalypse is that his rotation is very similar whether you've got a regular damage proc obelisk like Double Mind proc or a CTP of energy or something like that, and whether you have an energy rage CTP. So there's really not much difference between regular obelisks and a rage CTP for Apocalypse, but we will start with the regular obelisk slash CTP of energy, a regular, increased damage by 200% or 180% for 1 attacks. So essentially, the way that it works, if you're not using a CTP of Rage with Apocalypse, is to use 4 instant cancel into 5. You instant cancel as soon as you see the bubble / the slam down, and then for 5, you want to cancel 5 as soon as you see the X. It's a little bit hard to see, but you need to practice. As soon as you see the X on 5 there, you cancel into 3, he runs around, then you can do 2, cancel into 1, and then you just repeat the whole process again. So one more time with a regular obelisk or a CTP of energy or destruction, you're going to go 4, bubble 5, you're going to see the X, you're going to do 3, 2, 1, and you can sort of get the rhythm on how fast you need to cancel 2 and 1. 2 you can cancel pretty much right away. 1 you can let it play because it's an iframe and it protects you. And 3 you can either cancel it or not, depending on whether you want to move around with the third skill, and depending how much time you have to, build up until your next proc. Now, if you have a regular obelisk and you have Apocalypse at tier 3, the tier 3 rotation, once you've built it up, would just be 4 cancel into 6. And then you will work the 5 back into the next rotation after you do 3, 2, and 1, and then you would do 4 back into 5 as it were. Now, resetting, imagining now that we're resetting the stage, we're not going to, but just imagine, now you have a CTP of Rage equipped on Apocalypse. The rotation is slightly different. You're going to, instead of opening with 4 and 5, you're going to open with 3 to trigger the proc, then 4, 5, and then 2 and 1. So it's almost the exact same rotation, except you move 3 to the beginning because you want to, you don't want to sacrifice the damage on 4 and 5 when you're not activating the Rage proc. So use 3 and 2 and 1 if you have to activate your proc. Then use 5 and 4, or 4 and 5, excuse me. And then as soon as you see the X appear on 5, which is the iframe on 5, you can cancel it into 6 or into 2 or into 1. Now the 5 is important. It is a delayed cancel skill, because if you cancel 5 too fast, you'll see nothing happens. See? He just did a little roar, nothing happens. Now, you don't want to cancel 5 until the iframe, because that's when the large, sort of semi-transparent blue Apocalypse will appear. This is what it looks like when you cancel properly. You see the blue Apocalypse come up? There he is. If you don't cancel, if you cancel too early, you will miss that. Next up, we got Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel is a little bit difficult to play without a CTP of Rage, but I will do my best to show you. You just have to imagine that I don't have a CTP of Rage equipped. So if you got a Destruction or an Energy or any kind of Obelisk, you essentially want to do 5 instant cancel into 4 for your proc. The 5 does have some damage, but 4 is much higher in damage, so you absolutely want to start your proc off that way for your regular Obelisk. That is going to be the key, and that is going to require a little bit of kiting in the second phase, or in this sort of at the end of your second rotation. So one more time, you're going to do 5 instant cancel into 4 proc, and then you're going to do 2 and then 3, and you're going to let 3 play all the way to the end, and then you're going to do 4 again for your proc, and then 2 and then 3. Once you've done that, you want it, so you're procking on 4 every single time. From there, once you've got that tier 3 skill built up, essentially what you want to do is you want to substitute sit 4 for 6. So you're going to do 5 instant cancel 6. That's going to proc on your regular damage proc or regular obelisk, and then you're going to do 2 and 3. And then when you see the time counting down, you're then going to proc again on 4 the following rotation, and then just open into 2, and then use 3 and let the iframe play for the protection, and then you're going to kite for a little bit to get that 5th skill off of cooldown, and then back into 5 instant cancel 4. There I was a bit slow with the cancel, and so I might have actually lost the proc there. Now, it's a completely different rotation. I'm actually going to reset this time. It's a completely different rotation if you have a CTP of Rage. I'm going to give you the rotation for ABX, and essentially this rotation is not only combining almost optimal damage, but it also combines very good survivability. With this rotation, you're almost always in iframe, you're almost always attacking, never kiting, and you're almost never getting hit. So you're going to watch carefully. It's pretty complicated, but here we go. You're going to do 5, cancel into 2, let the slam come down, do 4. You're going to wait for her to lean back, 1 into 2 again, let her slam down, then into 3. As soon as 2 comes off cooldown, you cancel 2 into 4. I got guard broken there. You do 1, you do 3, and then you spam the tier 3 skill, and you should land as soon as the 5th skill is ready. You pop the 5th skill, 2, you let 2 come down, you do 4. When she rears back, you do 1, you do 2, slam down, 3. I'm going really fast, so you're going to have to sort of pause the video. 2, slam down, 4. You go again here, I might get guard broken, 1, 3, and then you pop the tier 3 skill. Again, you should land right when the 5th skill is coming off cooldown. I was a little bit too early. And this is essentially the rotation. You cancel 4 with 1 when she rears back, and then you cancel 3 with 2 as soon as it's off cooldown, and you basically sandwich in 2 with a lot of other skills to get the maximum buildup of your tier 3 skill. You should land as soon as the 5 is ready, back into 2, back into 4, and then as she rears back, 1, 2, let it land, 3, and then you're waiting to spam 2, waiting to spam 2, spam 2, 4, and then 2, 3, and then pop the tier 3 skill with about 3 seconds left on your 5. She lands, 5, 2, 4. This is one of the hardest rotations to master. It took me weeks of practice in ABX. Don't feel bad if you don't get it right away. Watch this video multiple times, slow the video down to half speed. If you have more questions about it, you can hit me up on Discord, you can hit me up on Twitter, and I'll try to explain. But this is exclusively a rotation for Rage, and it wasn't made by me. It was made by my Alliance members. I don't know if they were the originators of it, but they taught it to me. So big shout out to Chris and Matthias and them for helping me master this, and Mazing and others. Next up, we've got Quicksilver, and like the other ones, I'm going to show you first the rotation, imagining he has a regular proc obelisk. So we're going to do 5, cancel into 4. It's a delayed cancel, but it's a very, very tight delay. And then when he stops 4, you do 3, and then you cancel into 5, back into 4. And this is basically the rotation. It's very, very tight. You need lots of attack speed, and you're basically canceling 3 into 5 as soon as there's about 1 second left on your 1.5 seconds left on your 4th skill. I have to admit, it's a very frustrating rotation because it often can't like procs accidentally on your 5th skill. But when you get it to land persistently, it does do a lot of damage. So basically, you'll do that rotation, and then once you've built up your tier 3 skill, if you have a tier 3 Quicksilver, you'll just do 5, cancel into 6. Now, you have to cancel 5 really fast, because if you're slow to cancel it, the hits from 5 will trigger your proc and suck away the damage, because the damage will transfer. The damage increase from your proc will transfer to 5, and that's not what you want. So it's almost an instant cancel. It's not quite an instant cancel, but it's an almost instant cancel. 5 into 4, let 4 play, and then do 3, and then almost when he lands, basically, you do 5 again, cancel into 4. Now, like Captain Marvel, his rotation is very different with a Rage CTP. Because of the damage on 4, and because of how many hits 4 has, and because of how long the 4th skill is, it's good for a regular damage proc, because it lasts for 5 seconds, and it boosts the entire 4th skill for up to 200%. With a Rage CTP, using one long skill with long animations is bad. The Rage CTP is better if you can use more skills with more hits overall, but with shorter animations in between. So think about it, trying to squeeze more hits in by using more skills. So here's what we're going to do now for the Rage proc, and I do have a Rage proc on my Quicksilver, so this is just basically the rotation you're going to see. We're going to use 5, and we're going to use 4, but we're going to cancel as soon as the proc activates. We're going to cancel into 2, and then we're going to pop 3. We don't cancel 3, then we do 1, then we go back into 5, and then we go back into 4, and then as soon as the proc activates, we're going to do 2, and then we're going to do 3. There's no canceling of 2 or 3, and then we're going to do 1, and then we're going to do 5 and 4, and then as soon as the proc activates again, we pop 6. When 6 is done, we're going to go into 3, and then we go back into 5, we go back into 4, and we're basically just using 5 and 4 to trigger the proc, but he's going to do more damage on 2 and 3 during the Rage activation, and then you can just do 1 as well for additional buildup of his tier 3 skill. And that's essentially the rotation there, but it sort of dominates the damage on 2 and 3 and uses 1, 5, and 4 to trigger the proc and to trigger the proc for the tier 3 skill after a couple of rotations. Next up, we've got Luna, and because I decided to use her leadership accidentally, we have to deal with the Luna Snow theme song. So Luna is actually a really difficult character to play without a CTP of Rage. I do have one on her now, but I actually have a ton of content from the past couple of years where I didn't use a CTP of Rage on her. It's a very recent equip since her lifestyle uniform came out. But anyways, for over a year before that, I had a CTP of Energy on her. So you can go back and check out that content. But basically, I'll still try to emulate what you should do. The difficulty with explaining a proc for Luna is that she has refreshing 1, 2, and 3 skills. So you want to use those in between, and you sort of have to ad-lib or sort of freestyle if you ever play sports or do an instrument. You have to sort of freestyle in between if you see openings from when your proc finishes to before the next activation. But generally speaking, her 2nd skill and her 3rd skill deal the most damage. You can't fit those all together because one of them will end up proccing. So I generally used. I don't use it anymore, but if I go back to a CTP of energy, I will. This would be the rotation for an obelisk or a CTP of energy or a CTP of destruction, not a CTP of rage. You would do 1, cancel into 3 proc, and then 5 for the protection, 4 for damage, and then do 1, do 2, and then sort of reset. Again, you can possibly fit 3 in there as well, depending on the situation in the game and what the enemy is doing and what the different hazards are doing. So the proc and the rotation can vary slightly. You can get more skills in or less skills in, depending on whether you get the refreshes to trigger or not. That's really something that I can't anticipate ahead of time because there is RNG involved in there. But essentially, you can either do 1 cancel 2 proc or 1 cancel 3 proc, and then just spam 5 and 4. You can instant cancel 5 and 4. They will give their effects basically instantaneously, which is, immunity and heal, and then mind control on 4. The damage doesn't really matter. Like, the damage is there, persistent, whether you cancel 5 and 4 or not. So I would basically cancel 5 and 4, and then just focus spamming 1, 2, and 3 until your next proc, and then kite away, kind of run away like I did, and then set yourself up for the next one. 1 cancel 2 or 1 cancel 3. I prefer 1 cancel 3 because 3 is an iframe, whereas 2 has a long windup. You can see she kind of bends down. I don't like that for a regular obelisk. She can get hit, she can get killed. So that's the regular rotation for Luna. Once you have the tier 3 skill built up for Luna, if you have a regular obelisk or a CTP of energy, you're going to wait until there's 2 seconds left on your proc. You can see there's 1 second left on my gear, which is a little bit late, but essentially with 2 to 1 second left on your gear, you're going to press the tier 3 skill, and then after you see the second hand swing, you're going to cancel that into 2. I can't cancel because I was too far away. You cancel that into 2, you cancel that into 3, and then all of the hits from all of the snowflakes that she creates, she kind of creates snowflakes when she throws her hands around. All those snowflakes plus the 2 and the 3 will combo and chain hit, and that benefits a CTP of energy, or that benefits your regular damage proc obelisk. Now I'm going to show you what I would do if I have a CTP of rage on Luna, which I do have. So we just accidentally procced our CTP of rage because she has residual hits on her tier 3. But what I do for rage is I actually open with 5 and 4, and then I just spam 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 comes off cooldown, I do it again, 2 comes off cooldown, I do it again, and then I kind of just run around, I do 1 again, I do 5, I do 2. I would say Luna is probably the biggest or the purest spam character for a CTP of rage in Marvel Future Fight, and it's because her tier 3, or sorry, her 1, 2, and 3 come off cooldown. When you have a rage CTP for Luna, you can just do 1 cancel into 6, and then it'll proc, and then do 2 and 3, and then 1 again. Yeah, I mean, you really can't go wrong. You can almost just blindly spam. The only thing you have to not spam is her tier 3 skill. You have to make sure that you set it up so that you're using it just before the rage proc comes back, and then make sure that it's on when you are throwing those snowflakes after that little hand gesture animation. Last but not least, we have the big bad mad titan Thanos. And the nice thing about Thanos is his rotation is pretty much the same for a regular CTP of energy or a regular damage proc obelisk versus a CTP. And Thanos is one of those characters like Sharon Rogers where you have instant cancel skills like 4 and 1, and then you have delayed cancel skills like 2 and 5 and 3. So just keep that in mind and watch the rotation. The rotation is going to start with a 4 instant cancel into 5, delayed cancel into 2. So we're going to 4 instant cancel into 5, and then once you see those portals appear, those black portals appear around, you can cancel into 2. But if you cancel 5 too early, you lose the portals, you lose the blue lasers, you lose the damage. So you have to pay attention. So if you're getting it wrong, just wait until you see the lasers. And then once you're comfortable seeing the lasers and canceling into 2, then start trying to cancel a little bit early and sort of work your way backwards to that optimal time. I want to say it's about a second, but again, more attack speed, faster cancel. Less attack speed, longer cancel, because it's going to take him longer to go from that initial portal that he enters to summoning the portals around him. So you're going to I've instant canceled 4 into 5. I've delayed canceled 5 into 2. So the instant cancel 4 into 5, delay cancel 2 is where all your damage should be. So when he's raining fire, like from the movie, but sire, our troops. Anyways, when he's raining fire and then shooting the lasers from the portal, that is when your proc should activate for your regular obelisk or energy or destruction proc. And then 2 is going to stack on top of that because it adds all defense down. So I'm spinning around and I slam, and then I do 1, pretty much instant cancel into 3. And then 3 you can cancel when he comes down. And those sort of waves. These like orange waves go back and forth. And that's basically the rotation. It's 4 instant cancel 5, delay cancel 2, instant cancel 1, or sorry, delay cancel 2, delay cancel 1, instant cancel 3, instant cancel into 3, and then 3 is a delayed cancel back into 4, which is an instant cancel into 5. Once you've done that twice, you're going to have your proc ready, and you're going to do 4, cancel 5, and then when you see the portals, you do 6. So it's basically the same rotation as you do regularly if you have a tier 3 Thanos, except after 5, instead of doing 2, you will do 6. And it's actually the same rotation if you have a CTP of Rage, and it's the same rotation for ABX. So that's a really nice thing. Now, you could possibly tinker with some other rotations for Thanos without a CTP of Rage. Like, you could try really quickly canceling 3 to get the buff. He has a self buff on 3, and then you could do 4 cancel 5. But I think Thanos deals enough damage to do well with this rotation, and because of all of those hits on 4 and 5, you're almost guaranteed to proc safely almost every single time. If not 4 cancel 5, then 4 cancel 5, delayed cancel 2 will nail it. And when you cancel into 2, you will still have hits happening from the death portal, so it still will stack up and do some extra damage there. So hopefully this list of 5 characters damage proc rotations and guides, whether you have a CTP of Rage or whether you have regular obelisks or other CTPs, has been helpful. Now it's your turn to help me decide the next 5 characters. I can go here and filter by tier 2 or tier 3 and just go down the list of the next 6 characters, say Cyclops, Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Captain America. I could definitely do that. Or I could do another 5 characters. So all you have to do to be entered into the 300 crystal coupon giveaway, keep in mind this giveaway is given by Netmarble as part of the Start Agent program, which I am a part of, and this video is in partnership with them. And the coupons are only redeemable on an Android device or an Android emulator on a PC or a laptop. So if you don't have an Android device, you either have to get one from borrow one from a friend or a family member temporarily, or download, like Nox or BlueStacks or Memu or something like that on your computer. Just do some research beforehand and make sure it's safe, and just follow like precautions, because I wouldn't want anything bad to happen. But they're not available to be redeemed on iOS. It's an iOS thing, trust me. All you got to do to be entered for the giveaway, for the 300 crystal giveaway, is comment down below on this video and give me your pick for the next 5 characters for a video like this. It can be any 5 characters, as long as they weren't the 5 characters or the 6 characters that we mentioned in this video, from Sharon Rogers down to Luna Snow. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck on the 20 people who will be randomly chosen later on, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.